Is another wonderful Wednesday night, Sports Delight, because this is ladies' night. Oh, and shout out to our favorite viewer. Hi, Miss Williams.
Hi, Miss Williams. Whenever you see Joanne, not Joe.
Oh, the alter ego.
Oh, now.
Oh, Stringa.
What's going on? I do like a ghost. Okay.
I mean, and that's just my one excuse to look silly on the sidelines, and I'm totally okay with it. I'm doing my job.
All right, Coach Willis. Well, speaking of,
Everyone, welcome to the Platform Sports Talk Show. It's your girl, Buddy. I'm glad y'all are here to join us for another wonderful evening.
telling y'all, when you get on this show on the ladies' night, boy, I tell you, you are bringing people's careers to a whole nother level. I'm telling you. So here. Yay! Somebody's watching. Shout out to everybody tuning in on Platform Sports Talk Show on Facebook. Yes, or YouTube. Thank you.
That win, girl.
I was like, will Brandon, does Michelle Smallman text you at 11:45 at night?
Let them know, right? No matter what the time, it came through, right?
Yes, I thought that was really dope.
So my question is, how do you balance that passion and emotion in your profession?
So for some of these guys, they're like, even if I do win, it's not going to be enough for some people. So why don't I just go ahead and get the money?
Living the dream. I think all the time. I'm a dream catcher, right? So I chased the dream and I caught it.
Because I took this crazy leap of faith in May of 2011 at 23 years old to buy a basketball team. And everyone thought I had lost my mind.
Just kind of shed light, like, women coaches, like, hey, we bring it too. we bring it.
What up, what up, what up? Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. We have made it through another month. Today is February 1st. It's the beginning of Black History Month. And of course, it's what? Ladies' Night. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Platform Sports Talk Show. It's your girl Bunny. And of course, I'm representing the ladies on Ladies' Night. And also, besides Black History Month, of course, we're emphasizing today is Women in Sports Day. Excuse me. A little one wants to say hello to all you wonderful viewers. Say hi. Say hello. Hey. Oh, hey. I'm here. Yay. Okay. So, also, everybody's listening on the Platform Sports Talk Show on our Facebook page. Make sure you leave all comments under our page. Interact with us. We interact with you. Also, everyone that's tuning in on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to the Platform Sports Talk Show. And when you subscribe, please click on that bell, baby. Because anytime we go live, like right now, you will be notified. And also shout out to all our listeners on Hot 365 Radio, where it's what? Hot, hot, hot. Hey, hot, hot. Oh, hot, hot. And for anybody that has not, I'm sorry, we're also on Twitch. I forgot about that. Man, it's coming to me because we are expanding. We're getting bigger and better. We have more streams of listening to our show and watching our show. What? You mad because we don't have the baby edition? Okay, I can put the baby edition on for you. And shout out to the fellas. The Man Cave is on the last Wednesday of the month. So you got the Ladies' Night first Wednesday of the month and the Man Cave on the last Wednesday of the month. What? You don't want to see the fellas? I just want to Ladies' Night just about us? Okay, we'll make it about ladies. And also, in between the first and last Wednesday of the month, we have the regular Platform Sports Talk Show. So don't forget about us, you all. All right? And without further ado, let's bring out our talented, wonderful ladies for Ladies' Night. Batter up. First up to bat, a softball player. What? You don't want to know a softball player I went from the Boondocks? You don't want me to introduce JoBo coming to the stage? We don't want to do that. But she's coming from the Boondocks. We got to give her love. Batter up. You didn't get the correlation because he's a softball player. All right, without further ado again, we have JoBo. Bring it on, JoBo. What's up?
What up? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you too. And again, pardon my voice here. This one here and the other partner in crime brought all their germs to me. They were just like, let me share the love with mommy. So here I am. I sound like crap, so excuse me, all our listeners and viewers.
It happens. Life of a parent.
Girl, but it said like, if you look at the video, shout out to Roku channel because you can watch our archive shows on there as well as YouTube channel. From 3 months ago, I sounded just like this because I got sick again. It's like every few months.
Yep. Sadly, that's just how it goes. Me is a little stuffy right now as well.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm not feeling this. We're in the middle of winter, so I'm trying to get to spring. Maybe get better. Anyway, and next up, batter up. Actually, since we have a basketball coach, so
Dribble up.
yeah, dunk up, lay up, float it up. All the way from Clayton High School, our women basketball coach, who is also the one that likes to style and profile on the sidelines in her boots. Without further ado, come on, Coach Willis.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Well, apparently somebody's doing very well because she's stuffing her mouth and these cheeks is going ahead. Okay, look. Baby. Anyway, Coach Willis, how's it going?
It's going. You know, it's February. We're entering that last part of the season, you know, prepping for districts. So it's going. It's just busy. I mean, it's constant work all day, every day, like 24 hours. Even when I come home, I'm still working. So, but I'm here. I can't complain. You know, we won 5 games in a row. So we're starting to, figure it out, but it's ups and downs. We keep it real interesting, but that's about it.
Damn, that's not simple. 5 games in a row, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but you got 5 on it.
Yeah, I never know. Like, I don't even know what my team record is, like, or anything. Before I got on today, I was, talking with my AD. We just kind of talk about stuff. We got a big game Friday night, and he was like 5 in a row. Like, I don't really pay attention to all that. It's just like one game, and then we're on to the next. Like, I don't even. Somebody asked what my team record was. I was like, I don't know.
That has to just be like a coach thing or something, because I'm sure, like in baseball, you could ask Ali Marble, hey, how many games do you guys won in a row? I don't care. We're just playing the games. But us as fans, we know, so I'm sure the
Right.
fans of your guys' team know. We got to say hi to Miss Dub. Bunny. Miss Dubs.
Excuse me. I want to say shout out and hello to our faithful viewer, Miss Williams. I'm sorry, Miss Dub.
You get on me, and I was so good about saying Miss Dubs, and then you say Miss Williams.
No. blame it on the state of mind, the state of. Ma'am, you don't want to have me sounding like this. But Miss Dub, thank you for tuning in. As always, we appreciate the love. And Coach Willis, if you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. Good answer. But congratulations, since now you know.
Thank you. Yeah, now I know. But I'm sure I after our game Friday, I still probably don't know what will be. So
okay. All right. Well, that's still good though. And I hope the ladies' confidence has been built up. And I know it helps the little camaraderie of the team. Like, because I bet you those players know.
they do. They do. They keep track of everything more than I do. So I just keep track of X's and O's. But no, like I said, every game, I give myself a 24-hour rule. Win or lose, we win. I celebrate for that 24 hours. If we lose, I soak it in for those 24 hours, and I'm moving on to the next. I can't think about what happened 48 hours ago. So got to keep it moving.
I got you. All right. I got a cue from you. We'll keep it moving in. So, ladies, I'm cupless over here, but I hope you all have a cup or something in your cup. What's going on? What is in your cup? What has catches your eye? What headline is, keeping you entertained or intrigued? Excuse me.
I'm going with my guy, TB12. Salute. It's sad. It's officially over. Look at that, man. Look at that. All right. It's official this time. I believe it because last year a reporter came out and said it this time, bright and early this morning. Smoooth put it in our chat. He officially retired on his own. And an end of an era. The GOAT has retired. So cheers, Mr. Brady, 7 rings, and Hall of Famer immediately. So that's in my cup, glass, whatever you want to say. And yeah, it's gonna be weird not seeing him in the NFL next year.
I hope you don't play with people's emotions, because this was the day last year we heard this announcement, and weeks later he was suiting up, or at least doing spring workout training and back out there. So let's see if this is for real.
I think it's legit this time because he did it himself. If I remember correctly, last year he was a little upset that reports came out first, that before he could say anything. So I think this is legit. And yeah, which, by the way, have you guys seen the movie for 80 for Brady? The trailer for that?
No, I heard it's supposed to be a legit movie, but no, I saw like the 2 old women.
Yeah, so we went to go see the Whitney Houston movie, which is amazing, by the way. And that was a trailer. It completely threw me off guard because I didn't even know this was the thing. And it's based off a true story, which is mind blowing to me. But it looks pretty funny. It's just a group of old women that went to the Falcons Patriots game, and yeah, so it looks really funny. I'll probably go see that.
Is it like the older version of Thelma and Louise, or like if Thelma and Louise were to survive, it'd be looking like that? They're old.
They're pretty old. I think they're in their 80s. That's why it's called 80 for Brady. But yeah, so it looks really funny. And but yeah, he was at the red carpet event for that last night because him and Gronk are in the movie as well. So yeah, it's gonna be funny.
No, I agree, Joe. I think he's done too. I saw it when it came across my phone. I was like, what? And then I read it. He came out with his his announcement. I think he's hanging the shoes up. So I agree.
And it's crazy because like he still had a really good year,
Mm-hmm.
but you could tell that it's just time. And I mean, he's what, 45, 46, whatever he is. It's just at a certain point, like Yachty had his moments when he was hot too, but it's getting old. You gotta hang it up, at some point. So it's tough for these guys. That's all they know. But as long as you can do it, in your own way, and no one's forcing you to do it, then that's when it's legit. I think he's legitimately done.
I just don't think he's gonna get the same fan. Getting the fanfare, but just because we heard it before, we thought it was true. He played with people the most, and so now second time around, I don't think it's gonna get as much like it did last year.
My brother said he shed a tear, so my brother is such a big Brady fan, and I texted him this morning. He put a sad face, and then like an hour ago, he texted me, "I shed a tear today." So, he's dramatic, but I was like, "You tell me to get all this practice in from last year whenever he announced it," but yeah, I'm sure fans are just as upset now, or happy. There's a lot of people that are probably super happy that they don't have to face him anymore.
That's true.
And Coach Willis, what is in your cup, man? What got your?
Oh man, I mean, it's crazy. So I would say recently, I mean, I feel like high school basketball right now is definitely in my cup, but I received, I want to say 4 text messages today about this 22-year-old playing on this JV team. I want to say
that man had like the Ricky Smiley morning show. Okay, it's on national news. This is something serious with that.
Wait, this is serious?
So funny. Yeah, like I want to say I got it from 4 people today. I'm thinking somebody sent it to me last night, and then I didn't see it this morning. I think it's just funny. Like some of my friends in my friend group, they always sending me these crazy basketball stories. Like, what the heck? Like, see my reaction to it, and like I saw it last night, and I was like, I'm just read it tomorrow. Like I'm tired, and then I looked at it today, and then it was on the news. Like I was just like, oh my God, like what is going on? I mean, it's crazy out here. And it was and then recently, a couple of weeks ago, there was another like adult like enrolled in high school. So I was like, okay, now there's a basketball player, 22-year-old playing JV basketball.
Hold up. It looks like per the Google machine, it says that they were a coach impersonating the JV player. That's wild. Impersonating a 13-year-old. That's like, have you guys ever seen Benchwarmers? and the guy's like, I'm 13. He's got a picture with like a beard. He just writes in crayon, I'm 13. Oh
no,
my goodness.
I mean, literally, like I got like 4 text messages today. Like, what the heck? Like, I mean, there's times where I feel like, I need to put a jersey on myself, but I can't go out there and do that no more. Like, there's a difference, 30, and there's a difference me being 14. Like,
What would make the coach want to do that? What's the rationale behind that, though?
No idea. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't get certain people's directions or like where they come up with these ideas. Like,
she's like, you know what? I've tried telling you guys how to do it. I'm gonna show you how it's done. And then she just goes out there.
Right. I can show you better than I can tell you, huh?
Right. Like, oh, let's go out there. They probably haven't won a lot of games and we need some wins. So let's, suit her up. Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just, when I saw it, I was just like, do they really think that they were not going to get caught? Like, even if they did finish the season, like somebody knows something,
Well, it's crazy because, again, it says the coach. So, like, the other players just going along with it. Like, I feel like for sure I've been the one to rat her out, honestly, but that's just not right.
I don't know. But I would say, like, since that has been like the hot topic, according to like like my friends blowing me up about this article that I've read 4 times and I've seen it, I'm like, they're like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. It's wild out here. Everybody trying to see what they can get away with, super teams or just, I have no idea. Don't understand the motive. I know that the coach did get fired. But like, I mean, it's just I don't understand the reasoning behind it. Um, but yeah, that's I would say that's kind of what's been in my cup since it's been brought to my attention, and everybody wants to know what I feel about it. And my answer again replies as far as like, you know what? I don't know what the coach idea motive was. Like I said, proving a point. Hey, I'm gonna show how it's done. We don't know. So just know that you can't do that and you can lose your job. You're putting adult with minors, and in today's society it's totally different. You got to be careful.
It's wild.
That's right.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that right. And piggyback, we talked about Brady earlier. So since he's not in the Super Bowl or even in the was it not in the NFC or AFC Championship game, I still tuned in. Even though I mean Brady, cool. I'm not anti Brady. I'm not pro Brady. Just he's good. I give or great. Now the GOAT, like I told y'all this when we talked about this before, he does only do one side of the ball. With football, it's two sides of the ball. And you know, in basketball, baseball, majority of people playing offense and defense. So GOAT status, yes, but like that's because again he's only doing it on one side of that sport. But anyway, so let's talk about the Super Bowl predictions. I'm sorry. Talk about the conference championship game, and we can talk about our NFL Super Bowl predictions. So I tuned into both games last Sunday, and of course, shout out to T-Bone. I know he was happy with the 49ers, but I told him that the Eagles were going to win, and who was right? Me. Of course, it's not all the 49ers' fault for losing. They did lose their starting quarterback in most of the game, and also the AFC side, the Bengals and Chiefs. I picked the Chiefs, and they pulled it off. It was a damn good game, though. I mean, it literally came down to the last second. So, shout out to the Chiefs. They're going back to the Super Bowl. This is their third trip in 4 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, did you all tune into the conference championship games, and what were y'all thoughts about it? AFC and NFC game. Excuse me.
Yeah, I did. What was it? 2 weeks ago, I went. I went to a sports bar, and Eagles fans are they different. They out here. They're very loyal. Definitely watched the Kansas City game and Cincinnati because my students, we took a little poll in our PE class, and a lot of them were like, "We're going for the Chiefs. We're going for the Chiefs." But then we also had quite a few kids that were going for Cincinnati. I just like seeing good competition, a good game. I know they were making a big deal. Homeboy got that last penalty at the end of the game, which then pushed Kansas City in its favor. But you know, um, Cincinnati, according to like the reports and everything like that. I mean, I'm not a football expert, but just watching the game, like they had many opportunities to win that game. One mistake does not define the outcome of that game. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like me, with my basketball team, like a mistake towards the end of the game, like there were some things that we could have done differently to position ourselves where we did not get in that situation. So I know when that thing came out, like there was like reports, um, you know, showing like those emotions. Like I can only like imagine how he felt because yeah, like that last play in his head, he's like, oh my God, like I ruined the game for us. But at the end of the day, you win as a team and you lose as a team. So, but I mean, it was a good game. It really was. It was a great game.
I hear what you're saying, but the average fan is gonna remember the last play of the game, not the whole game, or not when somebody missed a block that caused that receiver to make it to the end zone, or their safety slipping, and then boom, person passed them and got it. The average
Well,
fan.
an average fan that didn't sit there and watch the whole game is going to say that because that's all they're going to see on social media and on the news. That I feel bad for the guy. He's been getting torn to shreds. Because of one thing that happened. What's Randall saying?
No, T-Bone heard what I just said 2 minutes ago. You tuned in at the right time, T-Bone, because I was talking about your 49ers losing, getting that L. I told you.
Yeah, T-Bone, I'm sorry, man.
You tuned in at the right time. I'm so glad he's here to hear this,
I feel bad for the man cave next because Sadal and Stanton are gonna give it to them. But
I'm
again,
just saying
they lost their
that goes with
quarterback.
territory. You're
Lost
They
their
did.
quarterback like minutes into the game, pretty much, which sucks. This guy that was literally like in high school months ago, so or college months ago, whatever it was. So it sucks, but I the Chiefs and Bengals game annoyed me because I thought there were some things that were kind of fishy, but in both games, I think the field was just covered in flags constantly. A lot of weak penalties here and there. Obviously, that one at the end was a penalty. There's no, denying that. I just hate how people are treating the guy that. How do you even say his last name? I can't even remember how to say his last name, but I feel bad for him, and the camera just had to keep going to a ball in his eyes out. Like, just I don't know. I hate that. I've said on here multiple times. I hate seeing grown men cry. It's so depressing to me. But
I don't. Let
it's
them cry. As much as they talk about women, this lady's nice. Now we got our own platform.
I get it. But like,
cry y'all hearts out. So when you want to pull that card, like, be emotional, you be tripping off of stupid stuff or small stuff.
all I'm saying is the camera kept going to him. It was effed up. And then he had his guys yelling at him, walking back into the locker room. Like, stop. Like,
no, well, wait,
he's not the only player.
But okay, Miss Williams just said, of course, as what you piggybacked on, what Brittany said, that you win as a team, you lose as a team. I get it. Mm-hmm. However, when emotions are high and it's caught in the moment, that goes with the territory. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but that is natural. Some people can rein it in and some people cannot. But this is a sport where you have to have that aggression. It's out all the time. You can be competitive. And some people on this sport, you have to be aggressive to be good at your position. And if something doesn't go your way, or you're thinking like it could have been prevented, it's just, y'all know, football has a lot of moving parts because there's more people involved. Baseball has a lot of moving parts too, but it's still more standstill. And with basketball, definitely you hear sometimes when people get mad when somebody hit the winning shot, that means the person defending him was slipping, or the fact that somebody called a timeout, there was no timeout, or stuff like that. It happens, but that's part of the game that makes it where a ref is not controlling it. That is natural emotion. Again, afterwards, as men do usually in the locker rooms, I was told you can hash out your issues, but then they could shake it up and go eat and drink together right after they yell at each other or somebody mad. Right. Women, sometimes not so much. That's our emotional side for women and men. To me, what I observe in locker rooms is different. But I'm just saying.
Girl, I coach high school girls basketball. You talk about emotions. I'm dealing with teenage girls. So, yeah. Again, in that situation, like, yes, heat of the moment, like, they were right there. So, like, I totally get that. I'm sure, hopefully, they were able to, like, talk it out. And everybody's different. I try to be logical, like, it's time and a place for everything, right? And then again, like, I'm sticking to what I'm saying. Like, yes, Bunny, people are going to think about the last play of the game, but they've said it multiple times, even coaches. There were many opportunities that they could have put that game away, and they didn't. That last penalty was not the cost of their game. Like I said, you win as a team, you lose as a team. And I tell my basketball players that all the time, control what you can control. Can we put ourselves in better position to win games so we don't have to, put ourselves in those situations at the end? And now we're like scrambling and you don't know what's going to happen. So, shout out to his teammates who were, right there with them and supporting him, because that's hard. I mean, that you're playing on a big stage. I mean, this is the game before the Super Bowl, and this happened. And he's 22. He's young. He's learning. And there were some really good leaders that were just giving him encouragement. And I love that. And yes, they were dogging him in the chat. That's the thing about social media. And football, to me, again, football is a hard sport. Like, just saying, I ain't never played a game. I watched it, but it just seems hard. Like, people who are dogging him in the chat, they probably don't know anything about football. But
no, they could, but let's
that's their job. Their job is to go out there and play football games, win games. Their job is to watch film, work out. I mean, that's their job.
And that's why people sometimes don't give sympathy. Not talking about that player in particular who did the roughing the passer penalty, But you also, who else has a job? The cameraman and the person that wants to get your every motion when you're not paying attention. Because what is sports? It's still entertainment. Because what else can you talk about if you don't have that clip of him going in the locker room getting chewed out? What else do you have if you don't see like all people talking about on chat, social media? Before social media, you have field goals that were missed and cost playoff games and teams to go to a Super Bowl. That's what I was going to bring up. 3 years from now, maybe Cincinnati fans be passionate, but the rest of the world that watches NFL 3 years ago, y'all, do y'all remember what happened 3 years ago in the AFC Championship game? That's the one thing that it's always constant storylines and narratives. So the fan base may trip off of it, but ask Dallas Cowboys fans how many times they've been let down, and it's so dang funny to me. And I love every year they go through this. Like
all of my friends who are Dallas Cowboys fans. Anytime there's a meme, I'm sending it to them. Like it just makes their fire. Like I actually went to college with him. He had made a comment on his social media, like, "Oh, if the Cowboys were in the championship, it'll be a different outcome." And I was like, "You just can't let this go, right?"
So I got a question now that we're talking about that though, because I saw this on Twitter last night. I can't remember the page. Fred might know. Put it in the chat. But do we believe? And this is me legitimately asking because I could see it happening, is there's things floating around that the NFL's scripting is kind of like the WWE sometimes. Do we believe in that? Do we not believe in that? Because some of the things that happened this past weekend, I don't know. But it's funny because I saw something like Cowboys been given the same script for 28 straight years or something like that because because it's the same thing every freaking year. But I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of believes in maybe not to the extreme, but I can see it playing out like that.
I don't know. I try not to look
You're
into
muted.
that so much. I mean, I don't know. I don't like that narrative. Like I just think it just sounds
with how shady the NFL is and everyone knows it.
Yeah,
I can kind of see it being that way. But then the Cowboys got one of the richest dudes as an owner, and so it's like, why would they, screw them over?
Right, like you were
over and
saying,
over and over.
Like you were saying, like if they're calling like all these penalties, like putting that team in bad position, like it can change the whole out. I mean, believe it or not, I've seen it this year even with my team. One call can change the whole outcome of the game. You know what I'm saying? And like the officials have control over that. But
Miss Williams said that could the NFL script it where you lose 3 quarterbacks in one game?
Well, so obviously those are things that you can't control. There's it's been proven already. This is a different sport, but it has 100% been proven that the MLB gave the Yankees juice balls during Aaron Judge's home run chase. That is a proven fact already.
Okay, so
I'm just saying, obviously there's gonna be free. Like he could have, swung wrong and tore his bicep or something. Whatever. Like that's what happened to the Giants is a freak accident. That's not gonna happen, and usually teams aren't gonna make it to the championship weekend with that happening.
Wrong sport, but good thought. You said the Giants. You mean the 49ers?
Yeah, 49ers.
Okay, but what I was going to say, this brings your point, though. You mentioned MLB and Aaron Judge. Coach Willis is talking about NFL. I'm going to bring up what happened last Saturday night, when the primetime game of Boston Celtics against the Lakers, what happened in the final second. Your superstar LeBron James got fouled by another superstar, Jason Tatum. St. Louis's own, shout out to him. Then he didn't get the call. That made a break, and the slow motion, the standstill camera shows the ref looking right at the play. Like anybody that has glasses like me and that's thick like mine could see that was a call in real time. Sometimes real time you may not see a foul happen, then you slow mo, you're like, oh, real time you saw it, because there's no way as big and powerful as LeBron is that he's going up for a layup and miraculously misses it. Come on. And so then of course they slow the camera and you see a replay. It obviously got fouled. All that emotion he showed, like I told you earlier, men are very emotional. So when they were talking about women, show
No,
clip
that one's funny
today.
because LeBron's one of the biggest superstars in the entire world, and the
Yeah,
dude's
both of
crying
them.
like a little baby on the floor.
Okay,
Like,
so that's why I like to get when people talk about women emotional. I say I always bring up these different scenes when you see men like this. But the point is that NBA ref controlled that last second of the game because LeBron's doing what he can do. He couldn't control that person fouling him. No call, boom. I knew once it went to overtime, it was a wrap. The Lakers can't hang because they're older. But it's, again, not saying the league controls the scripts, but the refs have a lot more power and play into it. And it proves it. I mean, look at stuff over the years. Any major organization, major sport, it's a lot of money involved. It's a lot of gambling involved. Look, the NBA start doing now. In between commercial breaks, you'll see on the primetime slots, DraftKings had their promo for commercials. You hear Jalen Rose and Greeny talking about, hey, what's your pick of this person happened? We'll see. It's a lot of money involved now. So sometimes I believe stuff got to go a certain way. It's a lot of money, but I don't say it's scripted, but I definitely see refs have a lot to do with it. People would complain and leagues wouldn't find, and all these major sports, they wouldn't find these coaches and players when they speak out against the ref. That's not a coincidence. Excuse me. So, thinking of that, what's your Super Bowl predictions, though?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I just hope there's like a good. I just hope it's a good game. I'm gonna ask my students, and then I'm just go from there. The majority rules. But the majority rules. But then also, history being made. Two black quarterbacks playing for Super Bowl, which is really cool.
Okay. Well, the talk is out there. Mahomes already got Super Bowl ring or two. Jalen Hurts is seeking his first one, but young. Definitely, Philadelphia fans are one of the cruelest in the world. They'll tell you. Kansas City Chiefs fans are one of the most loyal in the world. Absolutely. So, battle of two great quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is proving himself now to get his team here. Yeah. Okay, definitely it can go head to head with Patrick Mahomes. Defensive side with Philadelphia is really good. The Chiefs is okay, but you got two coaches here as well. Andy Reid is facing his former team. So Andy Reid took the Eagles to the Super Bowl before they lost. This was, I forgot what year. Of course, eventually they fired him. He got a job at Kansas City, and he taking them to the Super Bowl. This sounds like a story similar to a former coach of Philadelphia Eagles who eventually made his way to another Missouri NFL team, but when Kansas City was St. Louis, Dick Vermeil. But here nor there. I'm still mad about our Ram situation in St. Louis, but I digress. So shout out to, I think, Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts. I think he can pull it off. Mahomes is hurt. Y'all know he played hard in that game, but he pulled it off. But 2 weeks rest is not going to be enough, but we'll see. I mean, experience could supersede what Jalen Hurts doesn't have, which is more experience, but sometimes just talent is talent. And, you got veterans on both sides that can, calm the situation down if Jalen gets a little too, overwhelmed or whatever. But I still think the Philadelphia Eagles can pull it off. So we'll see. Now,
I'm just looking for a good game. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to both teams again, just making it to the Super Bowl. I mean, I just feel like any team that makes it to a championship game, like, that's a lot of work. It takes concentration, takes focus. Your season stretches out. Like, can you stay the course? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just become like just work. And it's just like prep after prep. I mean, that's hard to do,
but that's what they get paid to do it. Because
they get paid to do it. I'm not taking that away, but I just feel like with any team that makes it to the national championship, whatever, like, that's a lot of work, like.
But that's what they train. They sacrifice their body, they sacrifice their family time, they sacrifice their mental space for the ring. And anybody tell you, when they say it, they know it's not easy, because the Cincinnati Bengals were talking about after the game. They're sad that some of the veterans won't probably get to go that far again, because some of them are about to hang up the cleats or something that aged out. And that's for any sport. So, it's unfortunate everybody doesn't get to that Super Bowl game, win or lose. But you know, us fans, we just want to be entertained, and we appreciate a good game. Hopefully, it won't be. It should be a close game. I don't like when they're blowouts and they're done in the first half.
I
Like,
think
yeah,
that was shoot, probably like 8 years ago now. It was at Broncos. It was when Manny was with the Broncos and the Seahawks, I think. I was so excited for that game. Sucked so bad. That was the year that I think Bruno Mars was the halftime show. That game was awful. I was so excited about it, but um I this one, I don't know. It's up in the air for me. I don't fall for Kelsey's back being hurt at all. That was just the media trying to get something going. Um, Mahomes, he's gonna have plenty of time to heal his ankle. And I seen something, saying like the Eagles had to face um Purdy, which they didn't face him, so they faced other people. I only remember their other backup, and then they had Bosa, or not Bosa, but Kittle. I don't even know who was it. McCaffrey. He was filling in as the QB and just tossing the ball off. But so they had to face him, and then who's the Giants quarterback? Bunny.
you keep saying Giants. You mean the 49ers?
No, the Giants.
New York Giants quarterback?
Daniel Jones. Thank you, Smith.
Thank you.
Daniel Jones. Like the teams that they faced weren't either healthy or their quarterbacks weren't that great. So, now they're going up against the Mahomes, who's going to be rested. He's going to be fine. He's going to have all this adrenaline and whatever popped into his ankle to help it. And I think the Chiefs are going to win. I would like for the Eagles to win. And because I'm not a fan of the Chiefs, really. I just think they're overblown way too much. And maybe that's because we got the St. Louis Chief fans that are a little crazy here. They kind of annoy me. So
we don't really have that many, do we? Because what?
If you're on social media on Twitter, oh my gosh, I just want to blow my brains out.
Don't look at the same little niche of people that's small. Because like my coworker moved from Orlando, Florida to St. Louis last year, and he's a big NFL watcher. And I don't know if he has I forgot what his team is, but he was like, St. Louis doesn't have a team anymore. So he said, y'all don't root for the Chiefs? I said, no. All because they in Missouri don't mean we're supposed to become Chiefs fans. Heck no. And he was like, man, I asked a couple other people the same thing, and they're the same way. They like, no, they're not Chiefs fans. I was like,
what I think happened was the Chiefs started being good again the year that the Blues won the Stanley Cup, and you had Kelsey and Mahomes at the Blues Stanley Cup games, and you've had Blues players show up at Chiefs playoff games. And so, like, just because these guys are trying to support each other now, any fan of the Blues or the Cardinals think they need to be like obsessive, crazy Chiefs fans. And I'm telling you, like, Bunny, stay off the Twitter because it's annoying. It's annoying.
You gotta tell me twice, honey. Thanks for the answer. Excuse me. I need to get that cup.
I hope Rihanna does good. I'm very excited for Rihanna. There you go. That's who I hope
Riri
wins
is gonna
the
set
Super
it
Bowl.
off. Riri's been hiding for a few years. She had popped out a little baby.
I know.
Gonna set off that stage. I'm telling you.
I'm super excited. 'Cause I know there was rumors that Taylor Swift was going to be there, and I don't want that. So I'm happy it's Rihanna. I hope she steals the show. And my nerd side, there's a Flash trailer coming out, so I'm really excited for that. So hopefully it's a good close game. Riri does good. The Flash trailer's good. I'm a happy camper. Drink some beers and be good to go.
I wonder how much are the Super Bowl tickets close enough to see the stage Riri perform compared to when Beyonce releases her ticket prices. Beyonce released that tour schedule today, but ticket prices don't come out for another 2+ weeks. So I wonder whose is going to be more expensive.
No idea. The teacher in me kind of goes back. I remember, like, especially in middle school, I remember, like, our teachers used to tell us, be like, oh, make sure you watch the commercials. So, like, like, you guys, do you remember? I remember that. Like, I totally remember that.
I still get excited for the commercials. What are you talking? They've gotten worse, but there's still some pretty good ones.
I remember, especially when I was in 8th grade, I remember specifically, like, my like homeroom teacher was like, all right, like, make sure you watch the commercials. Let's talk about it. Like, all this type of stuff. Figure out what's your favorite commercial. We'll vote on it. All this type of stuff. Like, I remember, like, the commercials were like a really big thing. So like I would watch the Super Bowl, be like, oh, I want to know like what the commercials are. Yes, Joe, I totally agree with you. The commercials are not as good as they used to be, but the teacher in me always thinks it goes back to when like the commercials was the thing. Like I felt like I had a homework assignment. Like go home, watch the commercials.
No,
Like,
that's one
my
thing I
teacher
always
never
think
told gave
about.
me that assignment. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, this has something to do with the Super Bowl, but also baseball. So you remember when Correa was gonna be a New York Met, and I was like, Steve Cohen spent stupid money so he could afford to spend stupid money on Carlos Correa to potentially get hurt later on. The dude's spending $7 million for a stupid commercial. That's how stupid rich he is. That's why they should have just gone for Correa, but I'm happy they didn't. Full circle.
Miss Dove had a couple of comments. One of them said some of the years the ads, excuse me, the one year I made to take over. I'm so itchy here. Some years the ads are the best part of it.
Yeah, are the best part of the game, which I can agree. It was probably that year the not Bengals, the Broncos and the Seahawks were playing. Bruno was pretty good that year too. And then what's her next comment? Said, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I'll root for them if they're not playing Green Bay or San Francisco. I'm rooting for them in the Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, like I'm not a big football fan, so whatever, but I just don't like the Chiefs in general as a whole. So I hope they lose. I think they're going to win.
All right. Well, sounds like you're I don't know what kind. I guess you just want to be entertained fan. You're not a super fan. You're not like anti Super Bowl fan. You're just like I'm here for the chips and dip fan. Give me some great beer.
No, I mean I enjoy the Super Bowl every year. Like last year, it was just me, Brendan, and Mia having a good time. I liked it. But it's not like the event of the year that I look forward to like more than, let's say, baseball coming up this month. Baseball's back this month. The WC is gonna be here soon. I'm more excited about that. Like the commercials halfway through the game, whenever they show people prepping the fields in Arizona and Jupiter and stuff. Those are the commercials that get my heart racing and the butterflies in my tummy going, because then that means pitchers and catchers are there and baseball.
All right. Well, since that gets you excited, another thing hopefully will get you excited is that the Blues are going to do a fire sale and get rid of all their major players right now because the Blues are not playing like they should be. The Blues are playing like they have the Blues, but I told y'all weeks ago I'm not giving up on them yet. I still have faith that they can pull off a miracle and get into the playoffs.
You still think that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
are
not
you
acting
high
like
on
a
some
Dallas
cough
Cowboys
medicine
fan.
right now?
At least I'm not acting like a Dallas Cowboy fan, so that's all that matters.
Bunny.
Wow.
I can't with you. You gotta stop this. You gotta stop.
I can't.
All right. Well, they suck. and it's funny that it's called Joe Has the Blues. Like, why is our team's name gotta be Blues? Because I really do have the blues about them. Like, they're not good. We've talked about it before. It's it's like I feel like anytime we come onto the show, whether it's ladies' night or just a normal platform sports talk show, I feel like in that week in between episodes, I'm like, are the Blues gonna be getting us excited, or are they just gonna be bad? And right now, it's just been nothing but bad. So, you have the trade deadline coming up on March 3rd, and I think we're gonna be getting rid of a couple different people. And I think the main one's going to be Vladimir Tarasenko. It's been talked about for the last couple of years that he doesn't want to be here anymore. And now that we're not good, I think he's going to be traded. I can see the New Jersey Devils possibly being that landing spot for him. And I don't know. It's going to be weird because we might actually have a chance to get the first round draft pick in the draft next year, which is extremely sad because we're usually 500 or better. So it's new territory for the Blues within like the last 10-15 years. So yeah, they're done. They're not going to make the playoffs. Bunny's she's not being realistic about this one. So hopefully we just trade some of our pieces for some good prospects or someone that's on the younger side and helps us out next year, because it is not looking good.
Are we still gonna go to a Blues game? I just want to make that clear.
Now that they suck, we might be able to get some good prices.
I just want to go. See, I'm more for like the experience, the entertainment. Like, just want to, have a good time because I've never been. I mean, I've been living in St. Louis for a pretty long time, like my entire life. I grew up out here, and I have not been to a Blues game. So, we'll just have to go, whether they're good or not. Like, I just want to go for the experience, the atmosphere. I mean, I see friends, they post like, pictures and videos, and it seems like a good time. So it's kind of like, that's my reasoning. I just want to go to have a good time, check it out.
It's definitely a good time with the music and the light shows in between periods, and
I always come to find that when I go to like certain games, I just feel like it's so enjoyable when you're like there in the atmosphere, right? Like watching it on TV is not the same when you're actually there in person. So I would still like to go. And I stole my dad's like authentic jersey. I feel like every time I go to my parents' house, I always leave with something that's not my own. And like, I meant to take a picture, but I have to show you guys. I have it in my closet. I'm waiting to break it out to wear it one day, but I haven't. But it has my last name on it. Just I'm ready. It's very like authentic. Like I said, I got the red in it, so it's major throwback.
Throwback. That's back in my high school days in the 90s, baby.
The clown jerseys. I love those.
That's what they call it. But you're gonna get there. I promise you. When you get to that Blues game,
actually, wait. I'll be right back. Like I'm gonna grab it. Hold on.
It. We'll read Miss Williams' comment real quick. Bring that back up. She says she's been here for 44 years and she still hasn't been to a Blues game. I feel like we've been at a show for 5 years now, almost 5 years, 6 years.
5 years going on 6.
That's that might be bad on us not getting Miss Williams to a Blues game if she's been here.
Got a point there.
But you didn't see it earlier. She agreed with me. They're done.
But if I asked you, are they gonna have a fire sale and just everything must go?
I think Tarasenko is 100%. He's done. When you were gone, I said he's probably going to be a Devil. I can see that 100%. Okay. Ryan O'Reilly's staying because he's talked about interest staying here and contract extensions. I can see someone like a Barbashev being traded. And one of our defensemen, but not a Parayko or Krug or Falk because they have big contracts. I wish it was Parayko, but maybe like a Mikola or something like that. But yeah, and then it would be nice to get rid of Bennington. But
there you go. Cause you dog Bennington. I was like, the man won a whole Stanley Cup.
Listen, I have said on the show multiple times that I am forever thankful for what Bennington did for us in 2019. 100%. But the guy is not good. I'm sorry.
How was he good enough back then and not now? People got hit to how to score.
He's good. He's for some reason he turns into a freak of nature in the playoffs. But if he can't get us there during the regular season when you're playing bad teams as well, then he's not good. The dude's giving up 4 goals almost every game. That's not good.
His GAA ain't the best. Not great.
Let's see this. Let's see this sweater.
Come on, Coach Willis. Let's see what you're working with.
Oh,
yeah, that's the clown jersey. Yeah, buddy.
And then it has our last name on it.
That's tight though. I like that.
Yeah. So I this was my dad's, and I was like, oh, like this is nice. Like, I'm a PE teacher, and my principal, she's like a big Blues fan. Like she's really into hockey.
Okay.
So I remember like I do have a Blues t-shirt that I wore, and I was like, oh, you like my t-shirt? And then, like I said, every time I go to my parents' house, I always leave with something that is not mine. And my dad, he's not wearing this. So I was like, oh, Dad, can I like take this? I can wear it, sport it out, so yeah.
You're a nice daughter. You ask, because I know some people go to parents' house. I'm not saying me. I'm not incriminating myself.
I just wanted him to know, like, I mean, I'm walking out the house with it in my hand like this, not in the bag.
Again, I know people
taking this with me,
Go to parents' house It could be in the hand. Heck, you could worn out of there. It's not saying that's getting asked to be worn out of there. It's just done. Again, I'm not incriminating myself. I have siblings too. Stuff walks out without being asked.
Shoot, I have a sibling that just walks into my house and goes straight to my fridge.
Wow, that sounds like a regular teenage move, but okay.
Well, he's 30 something, so.
Right. Oh, wow.
But I love those jerseys. Those jerseys get.
Why when people talk
trashed
about it? Because
on
the
too
clown
much.
look, because of the red in there with the gold. But
I like it. I know it's weird because we're the Blues and yada yada yada. But I mean, when the Cardinals were the baby Blues, everyone likes it, right?
Actually, I don't.
You don't like the baby Blues?
Hell. Not in the 80s when I see the old school highlight reels, and not now when they brought it back. Baby blue, no. This is my ideal Cardinals color, or accent color. We could do Cardinal red. The away jersey with the gray is black to me, but I said, okay. Now, if you throw navy blue with the red, now we're talking. That's not a clown
But
look.
where are you putting the navy blue at? Like the whole top?
We can do the whole top navy blue and still our Cardinal in red, or we can do red jerseys. If you do navy blue bottoms, then we need to do something good with our cleats. But I'm just saying, you can make this pop. But I just don't care for the baby blue. Navy blue, yes.
Well, I like
not
baby
the Braves
blues.
look either. I'm not even saying do like the Braves because they're navy blue. But I'm like, I've seen. I'm like, why don't they try that? That baby blue, the nostalgia.
It's a classic thing, yeah.
No.
Back in the day, a lot of teams did it. So, but
yeah, we're not back in the day anymore. I'm just saying no.
But I will say, I know this isn't on our rundown, but real quick about we're on the topic of jerseys is, you know how they're doing the City Connect jerseys for the baseball teams. Well, the Cardinals aren't getting one this year either. Apparently, we're next year. But apparently, there's a rule with Nike, I guess, that you can only have 4 jerseys in general, because Bill DeWitt mentioned that fans have been wanting. You know, like the spring training red tops we talk about every year.
Yeah.
He says the reason why we haven't done anything like that is because Nike won't let you have more than 4 jerseys, which I think is dumb. But it makes it sound like
behind it, because you saturate with too many options, then it's not gonna have as much value. I mean, I'm not the marketing CEO, but I'm guaranteed working in other stuff. You gotta have a supply and demand, or you're not gonna have the line or your clothing line, because Nike, you know how big they are, and I'm a stockholder, so they gotta keep that stock up. They have to make sure it's not too much out there. You gotta control your market. Well,
anyways, that he was pretty much getting to the point that whenever we get our chance for the City Connect, well, it's gonna be red. So for the next year, we can sit here and, you know, think about what is it gonna look like, but it's gonna be red, which I'm excited about because I really love the spring training jerseys. I think they're very classic looking.
I like the spring training jerseys red as well. And I just said we can use navy blue to help accent whatever color. Like the Saturday jerseys, again, another nostalgic one. We went throwback. Why we go throwback with baby blue and Saturday jerseys? Come on now. We got to keep going throwback.
I like the Saturday home jerseys.
I'm trying to change the way you got all these old people down on baseball fields with the newer group. Let's stop going throwback. We already got our nice big logo outside the stadium. It's the throwback one. Come on now, y'all. Work with me.
I like the Saturday cream jerseys for home. I like those better than the baby blue Saturday ones, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. A lot of these City Connect jerseys have been really cool, so I'm just annoyed that we haven't gotten that yet. Yeah, I like those better than the ones that we're wearing now.
The V-neck look, no. Hey, I like the 25 though. That we can keep. But besides that next, no.
Albert.
If the baby blue was navy blue on this Saturday away jersey, I'd be like, yeah, they ass bad. But still, we got that old logo. That's why I'm like, come on. We got to do progressive.
You want to actually change like the birds on the bat?
No, you can keep the birds on the bat. You can make that top red, and then we could do a navy blue bottom for that when you wear it that way. Just get out of the baby blue, please. It's just And then I said the throwback logo. If you want to go that's what I said. Let's do forward thinking. least get something else. That's why I say we do navy blue bottoms. Our cleats. I mean, everybody can't wear the same cleats. I know some people are indoors, but we can do something else to pop. Why you think they have the catcher mask are popping? When Yachty changed it, when he used to have that fire red bird looking like a dang on dinosaur, whatever, it was fire though. Like goalie, man, I was like, yes, bring that onto it. That's all I'm saying.
Man, if you were born and raised in New York, you'd hate being a Yankees fan.
Oh yeah,
Old school.
and that's
old
why
school,
God
old
knew
school.
my parents were meant to not be in the New York area, so I don't have to deal with that shenanigans.
I have a very hard time believing that the New York Yankees are going to let the New York Yankees wear a City Connect jersey once a week. I have a very hard time believing they're going to let that. We'll get there when we get there, but you're telling me that the Yankees, Hal Steinbrenner's going to let them wear something other than pinstripes, no names on the back, no facial hair? I don't see it happening.
We'll see. Real quickly before I segue here, Miss Williams said baby blue and Cardinals red is not a good mix. You are thinking like a genius. That's why I'm saying Miss Dub. That's what I'm saying right there. And speaking of jerseys, let's talk about the NBA jerseys. We're gonna have a look for the All-Star, but before we touch on the All-Star roster, the NBA news. We got LeBron James closing in on being the all-time leading scorer. He is 79 points away. Not mistaken.
I know he's getting there.
Close. Very, very close. Also, this is February 1st. And you're going to hear a lot of shaking and baking in the NBA world with trade deadline. So NHL and NBA schedules and seasons are real close. They're no more than like 3-4 weeks apart off. Now, the games amount is different, but it's still similar because playoffs start in April for NBA and NHL, same thing. The timing is a little different, but they're close to each other. So what Joe was talking about, you got these Blues drama. You need to have a fire sale with everybody. Trade deadline coming. NBA, you're going to hear a lot of that going on in the next few weeks. And on top of that, the All-Star game. Now, the NHL All-Star game is this coming weekend, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
A lot of shaking and baking is going to be happening too. Now they get a week off. I know the Blues get a week off after the All-Star break, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of more shaking and baking is going to happen. But with the NBA, I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen because the Western Conference is dominant. Well, not dominant. They're more competitive than the Eastern Conference. However, this schedule that you see, not schedule, these records you see in front of you, especially on the Western Conference side, definitely didn't pan out like people thought it would have been. Definitely, I'll tell you all the time, I'm a big John Morant fan. Grizzlies are number 2 right now. I don't think people saw that. People thought the Warriors are 5th seed, and they're lucky they're 5th seed because if it was the same time last year, they would be lower. The Clippers, they're surprisingly not worse than what they are. The Kings, I already told y'all, Mike Brown turned that ship around real fast. You can see it already. I don't talk about the Nuggets because I'm not surprised, and I am that they're number 1. I just don't see them going far to playoff. That's one of the things sometimes when you have these long seasons, you can have people look like, oh, yeah, they're going to be their deal. But once the playoffs start, grinding it out and going to see the same team over and over, people adjust to you better. Some of your top-seeded players or teams don't pan out to go to the finals. So, anyway, the play-in tournament to me right now looks more interesting than the regular 1 through 6 seed on the Western Conference side. The Suns had some injuries with Booker and Chris Paul, so they put them behind, but they definitely were in the Western Conference last year, so I can definitely see them making noise. Play-in tournament be good, and then run all the way to the conference finals again this year. Poor little, let me jump up to the Lakers because everybody, I'll talk about that Boston Celtics and Lakers game. So the Lakers, of course, that's a big market. They're going to get prime time. That game against the Celtics, I was surprised with that close because the Lakers usually don't play that good. Even with the best player on the team, with LeBron, is sometimes it's sad to see them watch it because I watch some of their games when it's not prime time. But they're not going to make the playoffs. They need to have a fire sale equivalent to what the Blues is doing. It is so much that they need to do. Something to me, I'm like, I know what's common sense, so got to be some other narratives going on why the Lakers aren't doing what they should be doing, but we shall see. The best player on the NBA is on that team in 2 years in a row, they're probably not gonna make the playoffs. That's a problem. Now, I know LeBron got some mileage, but I don't know if I can just cover that now since I'm talking about him. Coach Willis and Joe, y'all of course know about LeBron. Do y'all think he's 38 years of age? You think he's equivalent to Tom Brady now? Like he's done all that, got a lot of mileage. Is it time for him to hang it up after this season? I know he's waiting on his son to get in the league, but if that wasn't the issue, do you think it's time for LeBron to hang it up just like it was for Tom Brady?
I mean, just like with anything, like kind of what we were just saying with Tom Brady, you play until, you feel like it's time. I mean, I feel like LeBron is very like, I feel like over the years, he's seen his own growth and he feels like he's proven so much. Like and you could tell like he still loves the game, right? Like he still loves the game. He still loves being competitive. He's all about just getting better all the time. I mean, whenever he's ready, he'll retire. I mean, I don't see him like retiring after this year because I still really think he loves the game. And like, yeah, he talks about just wanting being, in the league the same as his son. So he's probably going to see if that's, he's going to try, stay as long as he can, as long as it's, his body and, mind allows it. So
how many years he got left on his contract?
This should be optional. After this year, this could be he can opt in.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to see. All right, so yeah, he had an extension, so through 24 and 25.
I mean, he signed the extension. What year is it? 23. So he signed the extension this. Yeah, hey.
Yeah, so he's.
My mindset up. I don't know.
No, I get it. Yeah, I think he's gonna stay playing, and like Brady, he's retiring on his own after he made the playoffs. Like I can't see LeBron just hanging it up, not even making the playoffs. So I think he'll 100% play throughout that contract, and I don't know, is he playing good right now? Because again, I don't pay attention to basketball. I see a lot of Tatum because
he's averaging a high amount of points still. I want to say it's over 30 when he's playing. He'll have a game of 2 or 3 he won't play some few. In an NBA world, that's called load management. Okay. In other words, we know you got high mileage on your body, and we want to save you if you think we can go to the playoffs. He's not the only player that coaches do that to, but the fact that he's still high scoring, he can do it. He shouldn't have to do it, but he's trying to still keep the Lakers close in games, or even try to see competitive if they can even get to a playing game. But where they're at now, no, there's no way possible. It would have to be all the other teams in front of them go on a nice losing streak. 12 other teams go on a nice losing streak. How is that going to happen?
Yeah,
I don't think Hollywood can write that script. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I ask about how he's playing right now because honestly, until I saw him, kicking and screaming on the court, I don't really see that much about him on the court. I've seen a lot of other stuff that he, talks about, but his basketball game, I don't really see on social media or ESPN writing or talking about it. So I've seen a lot of Tatum, and that's probably because he's a St. Louis boy and he's playing out of his mind this year, So
he's playing out of his mind for sure.
So that's my guy. Everyone knows how I feel about Tatum, and I don't know. He's one reason to for myself to pay attention to basketball. But again, I haven't really seen much about LeBron as of late, and it's probably because the Lakers aren't playing good.
But he's still doing good though. He's averaging 30.2 per game. That's awesome. Okay. Oh, he is your leading horse vote getter for the All-Star roster. But Fred said the Lakers are only 2 games out from the play-in. Even though they're still 13th, this record in the conference out of 15, but they're 2 from the play-in game. I mean, a lot could happen, but still, I just don't see it. But who am I? Just a fan trying to see good entertainment. That's all.
So what you said, the deadline is when? Like, is that coming up since hockey's is coming up?
Yeah, the trade deadline.
Because hockey's is the 3rd of March.
Oh, okay. Theirs is much earlier than that. Theirs is next week, February 9th.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what they do then. I'm sure I'll be seeing all the breaking news on Twitterverse.
I know, it's exciting.
no matter what sport it is, I always get excited because I know names of every sport, so it's excited to see who's going where. And what absolutely blew my mind is that Brendan said it's happened in baseball back in the day, but picks being traded for a head coach in football, that blew my mind. I didn't know that was a thing that could happen.
I guess so. I didn't know. Oh, you know what? I found this out. Not the same thing with contracts being traded. NBA, Doc Rivers, for him to have gone from, I think it was Boston to the Clippers, or the Clippers to, yeah, we were from Boston to the Clippers. They had like traded his contract or something. I was like, wait, what? I didn't know that we do that on a coach because I just didn't think you do that. That was different to me. But yeah, picks for a coach. I guess people didn't know the value. What players can do more than a coach. So back then they get a pass. They didn't know any better.
Or just like for what's his name, Sean Payton, not the Chiefs. Gosh, I'm all over the place. The Saints coach.
Like me.
I guess that's
Sean
official.
Payton.
Yeah, I guess that's official that he's now the Broncos head coach. That's all I seen yesterday.
That is correct. That's correct. And Payton was under controversy years ago because of the little bounty thing when the NFL was acting like there was a league that cared. So they gave him a year suspension because it was found out that he was paying his players a bonus for hurting the bounty to hurt another player. All I say is anytime somebody lets that information out, it must be mad or retaliation to the person that's telling that on. Number two, if they got caught, who else is doing it? Just like spin off with the Astros, even though we talked about them being some cheaters. If they're doing it, who else is? It's just rare that you hear, like I tell you, when there's a lot of money involved, it's usually not just one person or one team. Usually. But, I don't have the receipt, so I can just only speculate, as they say. We're going to speculate. Anyway, so what else in the NBA talk? All-Star game, couple of weeks. So, do you, Jobo, or do you, Coach Willis, have any players you're wanting to see or the expectations of the All-Star game?
I don't really watch the All-Star game as much as I used to. Like I like all like the competitions that they do, but no. I'm so busy with like my own high school stuff, so it's like I just.
Do you guys do anything like that? I can't remember if in high school, for softball, if they did anything like that. So do you guys do?
I have no idea.
Anything?
I have no idea if they do that now. My friend reminded me when my senior year, me and a friend, we got invited. I think it was this all-star game. Like she went to Cardinal Ritter, and there was some other girls from other schools that played, and we were considered like this all-star team. I didn't know what it was. My dad was just like, "Hey, you're gonna play on this team. You were selected to go play on this team," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." I have no idea if they still do anything like that. I feel like, since I've gotten back into coaching and being in high school sports, and especially on the basketball side, so much stuff has changed since I've played. But I think it'll be cool. I really think it'll be nice to just recognize. Of course, they have like the McDonald All-American, all that type of stuff, but do they do something locally in the area? I have no idea.
Well, if you don't know, it sounds like they may not. Or I'm gonna holler at Coach Stringer next time we get her on here.
And I can't even remember. Like,
maybe you can get it
started. I don't know. Girl, I know you say something like you start. Look, I gotta find. That's time that I will have to really figure out. And and also the other thing is just doing something like that. Like, of course, it definitely needs to be something that is just well respected, something just really deserving of those kids, but yeah, I can't even I asked my basketball coach, my high school basketball coach, to see if he remembered what that was I played in. But we even practiced too. We practiced a couple days before we went out, because we played at Columbia College. And the only reason I remember that because when I signed to go to McKendree, my freshman year, McKendree was still NAIA. Columbia College was in our conference, and that's only how I remember. Like we played at Columbia College because I was like, oh, like this is one of the schools that is in that same conference. But yeah, I just remember we practiced a couple of days. We practiced at Principia High School. I remember that because it was one of the coaches at the time. He coached at Principia, and he was like in charge of like running the team. I don't know how they selected. You know, I was just the type of kid. I showed up and played basketball, and I left. Like I did what I had to do, and I left. So
Look at the throwback pick. I love it.
we'll have to definitely like ask Coach Stringer about that.
Okay.
And you know, last ladies' night, Coach Stringer was saying all kinds of things about how just sports in high school are nowadays, and it just blows my mind that I've been out of high school for 10 years, and it's completely different how sports go now.
It is. It definitely is. You know, like I feel like I'm having to like adjust, you know, like again, like I mean, this year, even, you know, my teaching job with everything, just really having to step out of my comfort zone. And it's different. It is totally different, you know. And then the other thing too, it's like we're dealing with kids who with COVID, you know, so there's that aspect too, that plays along in it. But yeah, it is totally different. Like it's just like if there's anything this year what I'm learning, I'm like, okay, this is not what it was when I was playing at all. Like it's just not. It's different. The kids are different. You know, I mean, it's crazy because I had this, you know, team meeting today, and one of the things I was telling them, like, these kids have access to so much, like a lot of things, you know, like with all this training, one-on-one training, all this stuff. I mean, you know, gyms and, you know, YouTube. I mean, you can find a YouTube video how to, you know, shoot a basketball or, you know what I mean? There's just so much out there for these kids to get better. And it's just like, it is mind blowing.
Yeah, it's crazy because like
just to, you know,
I'm trying to remember like I remember there was one year that I myself wanted to keep my stats, you know, myself to see. That was back whenever I was like, oh, I'm a, you know, do good in school and sign somewhere type thing. But then also like if I ever wanted to see anything like that, and I'm sure they still do this, I'm not positive. You just go to STL Today, you know, and you can go to there's a section to see high school stats and this and that, but like
yeah,
that's about all I remember seeing or doing. And now it's just like they got all these applications.
Yeah, you got social media. I mean, that's the other thing. You have social media that is just taking over. And even as a coach and running my own program, you know, I am like, I'm so bad at it, but that's what this generation, that's what this society is turning into. That social media is heavy, you know. That's how like you can get recruited, get your, you know, your film out there. I mean, we didn't have social media. I mean, I remember like Facebook was a thing, but like we weren't even like using Facebook for that. Like I just remember like when I was in high school, Facebook was like, oh, what was the person's status? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's Joe is ... you know, like what you're doing.
Whoa. Well, you know, I can relate. Nah,
like, that's what it was.
Facebook didn't exist when I was in high school, so I can't relate. I was
well, it was funny because I was looking for pictures, the ones that Fred just showed, and I was on my Instagram, and I went back as far back as I can remember. And it's funny, is my first picture is from my senior year, so it's like Instagram now for these kids in high school. It's a really big thing, you know. It's probably a big way of, you know, putting their self out there and following pages that you know, can give you tips and advice and stuff like that. Back then for me it was just like, oh, here's my lunch for the day. I don't know. You know, it's just all social media is completely different now.
It's so different.
But y'all know 20 years from now, I believe how social media is used now is going to change again. If I'm on the other end of the social media, meaning the coach, yes, help me to make my job easy. If you don't upload your stuff, thank you. I don't have to make that 200-mile trip. I don't have to sit there and do all that.
Also, but like even with social media, with that being said, it's about how you advertise yourself. You know, like you know, my nephew, he's in high school and he wants to play college football. And we took him to this football training camp last summer, and we had a guy that spoke about like what do you put on your social media, like, you know what I mean, like what should be in your bio, you know, like all these types of things. Like there's very specific things that they look for, you know. And I'm also talking to my nephew, like, you know, be cautious of what you post, because, you know, once you post something, it's forever, you know.
Don't
But
even like anything accidentally that may or may not
I mean, it's
hurt
just,
you in the future, because
right,
people see
even
that
like,
stuff.
even like when I was in college, you know, like they would talk to all the student athletes. We would have like a social media meeting. Like if you post this, you know, like the whole big thing. Like I just remember like me and my college teammates, when we would take a picture before we would go out, you know, we're taking pictures before we leave. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll be at parties and you'll see flashes and we ducking, like no solo cups, anything. Like, I mean, I'm dead serious. Like we'd be like, no solo cup. You could have water in it, and then they'll be like,
I mean, it's fact, and I get it. So
I mean,
thing is, you're telling it to young athletes, student athletes, and of course, this is a young and dumb stage. So I know college recruiters want there to be the picture perfect candidate in their recruit. I get it, but they're going to make mistakes. It's just how costly it is, and how does the student learn from it. The other thing I have though with social media, take the athlete part out of it. Why don't we have somebody, and it could be out there, but you know, I know sports is still part of entertainment, but you're talking about YouTube videos to do anything like shoot a basketball stuff. I need a YouTube video out there to teach people how to have common sense. How about we need to have a video out there how to do a regular resume, not just sports resume, not with your videos, your highlights, a regular resume to get a job. I don't care where it is. Because at this point, this generation, from what I'm seeing, it's good for some of them that know to do, and they can be great. And some of them, I'm like, we're in trouble. So I just know social media is good for one end, like I said, from a college recruiter perspective, and not just for the athletic side, but the student side, the academic side. And then the other side of it is, yeah, you were posting this because, like, I know there's so much pressure put on young people, not just athletes, because you're a walking billboard when you're on social media. So anytime somebody sees your stat, what you're posting, who you're with, a lot of judgment, and sometimes it could be great judgment, sometimes it can't be. But it's still a lot to put on somebody who's trying to figure themselves out, young and dumb, coming to adulthood. And that's unfortunate because we have a little more experience. So we can call out a person and see what their page is about, like automatically, then assume it could be more likely right. But that young person won't see it from our eyes. They're just seeing what they've experienced. And, you know, like I said, once it's up, you can take it down, but if somebody catches it, screenshots.
Right.
And that's why a lot of the younger people don't think that the next move, we've seen this and we'll know what they don't. So while you're talking, you know, when you mentioned earlier in the parties, see flashes, hey, no solo cups, hey, don't get us in the picture together. Hey, my back could be turned, but somebody can still zoom in and say, oh, that was Brittany. So yes, she was at the party where this happened. So she's part of the problem. You'd be like, wait, what? Like people can take stuff so extreme just off one picture that's on social media. But
yeah, I don't think it will. I mean, for me, when I was in college, I didn't really think it was, I mean, who knows? I mean, early 20s. I don't know if I was like really like thinking about that, but yeah, I was very cautious of like, you know, my surroundings at all times because, you know, me being me, you know, I mean, I feared getting in trouble, right? I was that kid. So, and again, like, I don't think social media was like a big thing when I was even in college, you know, like, yeah, we had social media, we had the Instagram, we had the Twitter, but it's not what it is now. Right. And then like, you know, now you got, there's TikTok, there's Snapchat, there's, you know, YouTube, you got like all these platforms, you got all these different platforms now. And yeah, you know, nobody's perfect. They're going to make mistakes, you know? And then again, just maturity wise of where these kids are today. I mean, even as an educator, like a coach, like COVID has done some work on these kids, you know, and it's just like, you know, you kind of forget about, like, even in teaching, like, you know, we always, you know, you always hear like, oh, let's get back to normal, let's get back to normal. But then you got to really think about like where these kids were at the time and where they are. Like, you know, it's like, it's going to take some time for us to get through, you know, through COVID. But, you know, you just, I mean, I just teach my kids, my players, just about just being good humans, right? Like, at the end of the day, because like you said, you never know. Like, even like, you know, you can do something on social media that can cost you a job, you know. Yeah, like they know you're human, you're going to make mistakes, but if that's not something they want for their company, they don't have to take you in regardless, right? So it's just, there's just a lot of aspects of it. You just got to be smart. I mean, that's kind of like what I tell my kids. Like, you can't stop people posting stuff, but like, just be smart. And I'm the type of person, because it's just me, not everything in my eyes is going to be posted. You know what I mean? Like, I share things that I want to share, but I don't share everything. And sometimes, people do share everything, but that's
It's sad because I feel like in general you should be a good person and you should be smart, but it's like now with how crazy social media is, you got to be extra good and you got to be extra smart, or else you'll be canceled is the thing they say now instantly. So you just got to be really smart.
Yeah.
Really smart, be a good human being.
Yeah, I mean, but then, like, again, like, how I look at it, like, you are your own brand, right? Like, Brittany Willis is a brand. So, like, how I present myself is like what people are going to see. People who don't know me, they can go on my social media and try to like figure out, like, oh, what do we know about Brittany? Like, oh, she coaches basketball, she likes this and that. Like, it's just one of those things. And then you just hear, like, stories like, oh, like, they're always checking social media. You won't get into a college because they saw you post this or that. Like, I had that conversation with my team day, my team meeting. When you guys walk out of here at Clayton High School, you could be a talented basketball player, but you will be a good human being. Like, I don't care. Like,
amen to that, sister. Amen. You brought up something else too. I guess segue to my last topic here. So I don't know if y'all heard about this yesterday. Well, it came out this morning as well. There was a middle school basketball game, and a 16-year-old guy that was there. There was a Millie, a Malay that happened, and a 6-year-old guy that was in the middle of that ended up dying at the basketball game. I don't know what caused it, the little fight and scuffle, but the fact that you had a spectator, whether he was involved or not, die from watching a game is crazy. So with that, Coach Willis, I know you're on the sideline coaching your girls, but every blue moon, I know sometimes you may hear a noise or somebody saying something from the stands, and particularly parents. Do you think parents are hurting high school sports? Emotional parents. I'm sorry, emotional parents, not just parents. Emotional parents.
I'm so like tunnel vision when I'm coaching, so I don't always hear everything. I'm more concerned of, like, I have a really good support team, right? Like, I have like my athletic director, we got administrators there they take care of those things. So I can just coach, right? But like, do I hear things? Yes. My biggest responsibility is that I keep my team focused on what's important, right? We can't worry about who's saying what whatsoever. If I have, again, like, I always have like an administrator there, an athletic director who will take care of that. Now, yes, I can see, like, at times, parents can be an issue. If we're being real, like, I've gone to like AAU basketball games, and I'm just like, whoa, like, I mean, to the point where they want to attack officials and all that type of stuff. And then, like, now, not only COVID caused the official shortage, because that was the other thing, like, officials were retiring, they were older, they're like, no, we're done. But then the parents, the athletes, you have, like, I've talked to officials and asked them, like, why do you think there's a shortage in officials? And they were saying even young officials that start out, they don't last very long. I just try to make sure, like, my thing is, like, we got to make it about the kids, right? But I also, like, one of the things my 8th grade basketball coach told me, and I always remember this, he was like, Brittany, the good thing about parents, they love their kids. The bad thing about parents, they love their kids, right? So to a certain extent, yeah, like, it can definitely make an impact. I mean, I see it sometimes in my own kids when their parents are screaming and yelling, like, it affects their performance, and I have to talk them through that. And, like, I mean, My parents weren't like that. I mean, my mom would like scream and shout and go crazy, but like nothing to the extreme where like I felt like she was affecting my performance. I just like, Mom, you gotta tone it down. Like, you too loud. But I just, it's about the kids to me. That's what it's about, because they're the ones that are showing up every day, practicing. We're the ones that going through it. The parents, I just want my parents to show up and parent and just watch their kids play, right? Like seeing their kids getting better. That's what it's about to me. But those who do come in and distraught the atmosphere, like you're part of the problem. Stop it. And we get like updates about officials and having to like have conversations with players. Like, these officials are not messing around. Like they're, from technicals to throwing people out. I mean, I haven't had that this season with any of like my parents. I mean, I've had some technical with some players, but I mean, you see it every day, like parents fighting in the stands or, screaming at officials. And I mean, it's not an easy job, It's not an easy job.
Don't be Dan Scott from One Tree Hill. Don't be Dan Scott. That's the guy that, is really tough on the kid and causes scenes at the at the basketball game and whatnot. But it's funny that this is a topic on this show, is because last weekend my cousin, he's a freshman and he plays floor hockey. Not rollerblade hockey, not ice skating hockey, just floor hockey. It's a league on Saturdays. And he went to the penalty box, and a dad from the other team went to go attack him. Again, he's 14 years old. Like, just some of these parents take this stuff way too seriously. I hope and pray to God I'm not like that if Mia plays softball, because I love softball, but I don't think I'd be like that. But like, to go attack another kid on another different team, that's it's taking it a little too far there.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I hope I'm not that way. But I feel like I will not be that way, because I see it as a coach, and I see like how it affects the kids,
I know, like my middle school, a lot of my
I mean, come on, like that's the other thing. Like, it is middle school or grade school. Like, this is supposed to be fun. Like this, but
and some people's version of fun is still keep it very, very intense.
Well, so
and you're gonna get a scholarship that day because you played the game all the way. And if the parents aren't happy, then they're gonna act a fool. Now, some people, that's their version of fun.
No, there's nothing wrong in that. But like, really, like,
it is acting a fool.
Fifth grade basketball game,
young kids. Yeah, but I mean, I think some people don't know the difference or don't know how to turn on and off your intensity. Mm-hmm. We can use hockey, your cousin. So it's an up and down game. You got in trouble, penalty box. Maybe that parent saw something that was under his kid by that child in the penalty box. Maybe, we don't know. But let's just say he didn't. Nobody saw anything out of the ordinary. That parent going over to a child. I know 14-year-olds are older than a little one, but they still have immaturity. Out of line. I don't care how intense you are. Once you coach another adult child, you're asking for it. Mm-hmm. You're not an official on the rink. You're not the coach. You are out of bounds. So that's why I'm saying, like, some people's intensity, you're spilling it over in the wrong place. Or maybe you have an ego problem because you don't get to speak up and get the ready at work. So you're going to use a child's game. I believe y'all, some people really have ego or power trip. So they're going to try to pump their chest out where they can't do it in a normal setting. So they go use a child's game. It's no other reason behind some of the foolishness you hear what parents doing. Yeah. Like I said, if your kid's making a scholarship that day, right then and there, then what are you tripping off of?
Oh my God, my kid is not gonna play at Duke now. Like, come on.
What's going on here?
It's crazy. Like, I mean, even Alice comment, like, you see that happen. That's what I said. I have administrators at my games, and this year, like I said, my season's been it's been good. We had some roller coasters. It's not perfect. And I'm not going to sit up here and paint it like it is, but I will have those conversations with my administrative staff, be like, hey, can you please look out for this? Because I don't want it impacting my kids. You know what I'm saying? And like, I want my parents to be able to stay through a game and watch their kid play. Now, if you decide to do otherwise and you get put out the game, that ain't on me, right? Again, like I said, I just want my parents to come in and enjoy, watch their kids play basketball. You know, if I have a parent that's getting out of line, going crazy, going the extra mile, I got people that go and take care of that. Because that's, again, like, yes, my job is to protect my kids, but if I have people there to do that job for me, like, that's what they're there for. But it's definitely like it makes me sad because, again, like, this is about the kids, right? Like,
It's sad because like the kids, obviously they're playing because they love the game.
yeah,
They want to move forward with the game. But then also, as a kid, you want your parents that are watching you. You know, you want to do good for your parents. That was always one thing that was on my mind, you know. So it's just sad that there's some parents that just take it a little too far to where sometimes it's not fun for the kid, you know, whenever they act that way.
yeah, and then they end up quitting. You know,
Yeah.
like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore because, mom or dad, they're just too much. So yeah, I mean, it's sad that we even have to have a conversation like this, but you see it all the time. There's a fight broke out between a parent and a player, or I mean, you see these things that happen. And yes, I agree. I think it's embarrassing for the kids also. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Hot mess express.
Well, I don't see anything changing for behavior wise because
Oh no.
it's
I
evolving.
mean, like, here's the deal.
Parents and viral videos get likes. I'm just saying, that's the society we're in. Because if that's the case, like you just said, why are we even having this conversation? That means it's happened more than one time. I brought up this made an ESPN story about that 60-year-old person dying in the stands at a middle school basketball game because a fight happened. It's crazy. So
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember who I was talking to, or somebody made the comment like, if these parents are coming in and being obnoxious, I can't remember like how the conversation came about, who I was talking to at the time, but they were just like, well, I think if a parent is coming in and they're acting crazy, like, their child should be also removed too, and they should be suspended. So it's just like, okay, like, so we're going to penalize the kids too, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
So like,
are learning and growing. The parents should already know. If they weren't taught that, I mean, you can't do anything with an adult, but you still have time to groom and help and teach these young athletes and young students. So that, again, I don't see it getting, quote unquote, back to normal because it's a new thing to make videos go viral when somebody get into a fight, somebody's getting out of pocket, talking, mouthing off. Accountability is just not held for some people. And then what's accountability is held is
accountability? What is accountability? I mean, again, this goes back to, I've had conversations with my players about this all the time. Like, what does accountability looks like? Nobody wants to do it. I mean, I tell my kids, I'll be the first one to, step up and say, hey, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, I tell my kids all the time, you will never grow if you don't hold yourself accountable. Like, if you can't like say, okay, you know what? I did this, you'll never grow. Like, no. It's easy to point the finger at somebody else. It's somebody else's fault why my kid's not performing well. It's easy to do. So,
and Coach Willis, real quickly, I know you're real busy. So, do you get to keep up with any WBA news and any?
I got some like news on my phone. Like I like the one like with Candace Parker when she made the decision to go to Las Vegas. I didn't know, like, because I saw it on my watch, and it only like shows like a little bit, and I'm just like, oh my god, Candace Parker did not retire. Like, I didn't know what to like. I was like, oh my god, I had like, and I didn't have my phone near me, couldn't see all of it, and I was like, oh my god, like, because I love Candace Parker. Like I said, I
do too. She's my girl.
Big Tennessee fan.
Me too.
I still have Candace Parker's signature when they changed the wood floor. I remember going to I think it was like one of the individual camps. Like, I went with a group of friends that I grew and played basketball.
Okay.
And when they were making the new floor, they were giving out these like parts of the old floor. And I have like a part of the floor, and I have Candace Parker's signature on it. And then like Shannon Bobbitt was there. Alexis Hornbuckle, like that whole group was there. So like I'm a really big like Candace Parker fan, and I was just like, oh my god, she's not retiring, is she? And then when I got to my phone, I saw that she was going to Las Vegas. So that definitely is going to be interesting, especially like the season.
Squad right there, honey.
Yeah,
Oh man.
You know, but good for her. You know, I mean, it's exciting for her. And then, you know, just reading her story, you know, like she went back to Chicago. She's from Chicago, you know, wanted to go home. And then now she's venturing out and, you know, going to Las Vegas. And I mean, it got to be exciting for her, right? Like a fresh start, new team, you know, they're thriving over there. You know, I mean, I really like what they're doing over there at Las Vegas. So definitely saw that. Like when I saw Candace Parker name, I was just like, oh, God.
And what about the news about Breonna Stewart as well? The decision she made.
Yeah, I saw that too today. Didn't have much, you know, time to look at it, but I mean, again, like she was with the Storm, right? Seattle Storm. That's where she
was. Yeah, her and Bird. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it like I said, I haven't read up much on that, but again, you know, another talent player. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see for sure. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to watching Las Vegas.
I got you. Ladies, pardon me. Did I miss anything else y'all wanted to get in before I have to retire my voice?
No, I mean, I can't think of anything about sports related, just that sports are about to get crazy with, you know, the XFL, baseball, WBC, hockey playoffs, NBA we're about to have a lot more to talk about on these shows. It's about to be awesome.
MLS, St. Louis City SC
MLS,
Club.
All kinds. Oh, real quick, let's talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame. Super quick.
Scott Rowland. Only Parsons, solo dolo. What's your thoughts?
I mean, he was a good ball player. Yeah, who was that? Bless you. He's the only guy that got in this year, and we've talked about it in our chat. I think that maybe Todd Helton should have been in there, and Billy Wagner. I think Todd Helton's getting gypped a little bit because he played in course his whole career. But the guy, if you're a good ball player, you're a good ball player. But Scott Rowland, obviously, he played here in St. Louis. He's won a ring with us. You know, people compare Nolan Arenado to him, and you know he's one of the best third baseman defensively the game has seen. So I'm happy for him. We'll see what hat he chooses to go into the Hall with. But you know, if people like Scott Rowland are getting in, though, I think you're going to see a lot more guys like him get in, because he wasn't the best player, you know, that was out there, but he was a good player. So that's Hall of Fame. You know, what is it? You know, you're the best of the best and you're getting in, or if you're just kind of like a tier guy and you know you just get in now, because I would say he's kind of mid right now to be able to make it into the Hall of Fame. So Hall of Fame's changing. It's changing a lot, I think. It's kind of like I said, you know, some mid guys are getting in there. So I think you'll see more and more guys like Scott Rowland get in. Why is Jim Emmons not in there if Scott Rowland's in there? So we'll see how it goes.
Maybe next time around for Jim Emmons. Excuse me, real quickly. We on the fellas night last week, they were discussing amongst many topics. Another video that was out. Ed Reed, retired NFL player, Super Bowl champion. He was asked to be the coach of Bethune-Cookman University, which is an HBCU, Daytona Beach, Florida. And they were negotiating contract. In the meantime, he did a live rant on social media regarding the conditions of the football field, the school in general, and this and that. He did 2 different videos, and the administration decided to rescind the offer of a football contract for him to be the head coach. So now you got that background. I wanted to speak on it real quickly because I'm an HBCU grad, and I get it. HBCUs in general for colleges are underfunded compared to, we call them PWIs, and PWI means predominantly white institutions. So with the issues of HBCUs, some of the people, HBCU grads, just people in general were like, hey, how are he going to rent like that? And you didn't even finalize your contract. And other people were like, no, they need to expose what's the problem because why are these students and athletes in these conditions? Let our producer play the video real quickly. And I'll give you a couple more minutes on this. And then I will retire my voice. You can play the video for me.
We gonna ride through the fence they ain't fixed the fence. We about to ride through this fence. This ain't even football side. This ain't even the football side. And y'all talking about Madden at my Uncle Prime. Y'all mad at Dion, mad at Prime. This shit is every HBCU.
So, and when you say in prime, of course, Deion Sanders just left the HBCU Jackson State to take another head coaching job at Colorado University, again known as the PWI. Some people are mad about that. We talked about that a couple of months ago. But here we are. We had another person that has definitely credibility of bringing more resources, and including money, to help fund and get that program where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And he's calling them out on the conditions. So my thoughts is, as an HBCU grad, my university, Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri, our football field is not in that condition. It's not torn down. It's not run down. Our practice field, look, some people don't even have that, is in good condition. Of course, stuff can always be better. Our school is old, and a lot of HBCUs, they're old, they're historic. And I'll say this, not just because it's Black History Month, but HBCUs have a lot of quality and a lot of history in them. The resources aren't always there. Going on a rant, I wouldn't have done it that way, but I get it. He's frustrated. He didn't go to HBCU. A lot of people tell you when you're at HBCU, you know your standards is different going to that school as far as your conditions. It doesn't have to be all the time. A lot of the underfunding is not from the universities, but because the state governments who owe HBCUs money, including Lincoln, didn't give it to them. And we're trying to find a voice of somebody to help us. And it's finally coming to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
These schools, I'm telling you, Lincoln, example, founded in 1866. Okay, these are old, but you do have money eventually comes in and get some renovator, get some stuff done. But the fact that the conditions are that bad, and he exposed it, I understand it. Because you don't understand how can, quote unquote, United States of America, quote unquote, higher institution, higher ed, have conditions where you have molding on football helmets. You have people sharing helmets. You have it looking like a dang hurricane went through there, and that was 3 months ago. Right. Now you have student protests at that school because they want answers. You have media outlets say, hey, board of curators, hey, presidents, speak about this, and they're being quiet. So the fact that we still have conversation about the inequality of HBCUs in our conditions compared to other schools tells you something. So we're gaining progress. You have Black students, you have Black athletes coming from these schools that can make it in professional sports and into professional careers and still have the conditions of subpar standards. And I'm just hoping the best. You keep the conversation going, keep the spotlight, we should be getting advanced. But again, I want the disclaimer. Every HBCU is not looking like this because a lot of times if you're on the outside, you don't know, you're going to just group everything together. On records, it should be 107 HBCUs. All 107 of us from that attend HBCU schools don't look like this. The funding can be better, as I stated, or these conditions, but we all still need more money. So I just hope this brings the community together, whether you went to HBCU or not, to still put more resources, whether it's money, whether it's partnership, pipeline for students, internships, whatever. And to get that to where we don't have to have a potential head coach who got a contract rescinded for calling out horrible conditions.
Yeah.
Come together so we can do better.
Did you know that Lincoln's they're going to be in the GLVC? I saw the announcement that they're going Division II.
They are Division II now, but they're in MIAA. So
are they in MIAA? Really? MIAA. Okay, so when I was playing, I remember one year, it was in my sophomore year, I played Lincoln. No, I played them twice. I think one year was my junior year, one was my senior year. But they were like, I think they were like NAIA at the time, if I can remember. But
we've never been NAIA, but for when you played there, because I don't know what game that was. I went to see Lincoln play at McKendree about 7 years ago. They've been Division II very, very long time, but MIAA division. Now, granted, our football program gets our asses whooped. So I'm glad they're doing this move. Some of the schools in the Great Valley Lakes Conference don't have it, so that helps us. But I'm excited because we have more schools locally I can attend. So McKendree is part of that. UMSL's part of that. Well, Lindenwood was the other school.
No, not Lindenwood.
It would be one now, but there's another school that's in it. And I'm like, oh, it's close. I can attend it. Like,
yeah, Maryville, UMSL.
Maryville, yeah.
Maryville, UMSL, McKendree. But like even like with the GOVC, like recently, like I mean, there's been quite a few changes since I've graduated from McKendree, and like from the talks of it, just trying to keep that conference, because I mean it was a tough conference, tell you that. Like it was a really tough conference, but when I saw that, I was like, okay, like I mean I was excited, like
I'm excited, and I want our alumni base to be able to go to these away games now. We don't have to worry about just going to homecoming to catch a game, not just football but basketball, because it's Harris. So we're trying to build that up as a rivalry. We did play another school, forgot what school that was years ago, but yeah, it just helps to keep the engagement in there, and just show your school pride on the road. My thing is make the away team feel like they're at a home game, so we can get enough students in the area to come to those type of events. When it's on the road, but in St. Louis we have enough people that went there, then that helps them out. But yep, so that's my little 2 cents so far about the HBCUs. And last but not least, Miss Williams had one more comment. She said she's looking forward to February 19th when the Battlehawks have the season opener at XFL, and she will wear her BH sweatshirt to work on Monday. That's what's up. I like that, Miss Dove. I like that. Good fan there. Excuse me. And my producer's gonna get me, y'all. I so forgot to get the shout outs again. Facebook viewers, listeners, thank you for tuning in. Make sure in the future, if you want to engage with us like our favorite Miss Doug, leave all comments under the Platform Sports Talk show. Also, you can tune in to us on the YouTube channel. Make sure you click on that bell. Because what happens if they click on that bell, Jobo?
You will be notified.
Excuse me. I messed that up. Let's try that again. Okay, if they click on that bell, we go live. What happens?
You will be notified.
Excuse me. I'm trying to rush all this stuff, y'all. I'm trying to hang on the last of the voice I have. Oh my gosh. Also, we have our shows archived on the Roku channel. And shout out to our listeners on Hot 365 Radio, where it's always hot. And the Twitch feature has this Platform Sports Talk show. Man Cave last Wednesday of the month. Jobo, just take over, girl. My
All right, yeah, we got the Man Cave on every last Wednesday of the month, so stay tuned to Sidal and Stanton ripping a new one for T-Bone. And then, in between there, we got just the normal Platform Sports Talk show where you'll be able to see our producer's face, and he'll be chiming in too to help us out with the sports. And like we said, it's going to be getting crazy here soon with pretty much every sport going on at the same time. But yeah, so every Wednesday night at 7, you'll be seeing us in some way, shape, or form. All right, guys, so we're going to get out of here. Bunny's voice is, as you can tell, on the last straw. So we're going to get out of here. We got 2 ladies' nights down, 10 to go for the year. I'm excited. Coach Willis, have a good night. Bunny, have a good night. And tune in next week for the Platform Sports Talk show.
Let your hands up when the beat drops.